Welcome to Curiousaholic. My name is Haiko. I'm here with my good buddy Evan.
Aloha.
So, before we get into today's episode, here's a quick rundown of how the podcast works. So, in each episode, one of us comes up with an interesting topic that they are curious about and reveals it live in the hopes to spark a deep discussion and further our knowledge about the world around us. So today, Evan, why do you seem dressed up to go to the beach?
Well, I don't know. You told me to put like a Hawaiian shirt. I don't know if you guys can see.
No. I didn't tell him anything, guys. I'm ready to work here, do my best, put my effort, while this guy looking like a slob, looking like he's on the beach, chilling, has a bottle cap opener on his hat.
Hey, I'm just taking orders, okay?
Okay, yeah, I'm just kidding. Yep, I told Evan today to dress up in some casual clothes as if he's going, to the beach or hang out.
And this guy is dressed like he's going to like a wedding or something. Or, okay. I guess that's where we're going today.
So, are you guessing maybe the topic of today?
Dress code.
Dress code? Okay, that's not a bad guess. Okay, I'll give you a second chance.
I don't know.
You're not sure?
I'm not sure. Could be. It's anyone's guess.
Last
to be
try.
honest. I don't know. Maybe going back to the workplace or something.
Okay. There's a little element, but all right. So let's reveal the topic. Today's topic is going to be about the work-life balance.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay,
So I represent the work part, and you represent the life part.
all right.
You get it?
Yeah, it's an interesting contrast.
So, yeah, exactly. So even on my slide, you see there's a contrast, like black and white, kind of two images.
Good. That was a good teaser. You even maybe dress up for it.
Yeah, exactly. So let's be a little creative from now on for some episodes. Today's topic is going to be about the balance that we can create between our jobs, the work we have, and, the life we try to have, outside of it, our relationship, hobbies, going on the beach or whatever, road trips, etc. So, the kind of inspiration for today's topic was, we had a little trip, you and I, and some other people with us, and I was kind of thinking like how every weekend, like me right now, every weekend now that it's the summer, I try to do something and try to get the most out of it. I'm like, man, why is it supposed to be this way, where it's like you grind during the week and then you have a day or two to get out, have fun, and enjoy,
unwind,
So, yeah, that's what kind of inspired me the topic today, and try to see, is there a way to strike a balance? Is there such a thing as a work-life balance? What can we do about it? And why do people complain so much?
Yeah, we should have 3-day weekends instead of 2.
Oh, that might be an option, which we'll delve into later on.
Let's see.
So, all right, so let's begin. So, yeah, what is exactly work-life balance? So, it's the idea that a lot of people have that we need to create a balance, between the jobs that we have and the life, so that they don't hinder each other. So we don't overwork or do overtime and miss out on family events, friends, hanging out, so that each has their own place. We have set hours for work and set hours for life. But as you see in our modern society, it's kind of, unbalanced, quote unquote.
Right. Yeah.
Would you find that?
Yeah, I agree. I think it is unbalanced to a certain degree. A lot of people are overworked and they don't have time for themselves. I think a good way around that, I don't want to spoil anything, but like if you could make your job something you like, then you could have already that balance. You're working in that field, and at the same time you're kind of enjoying life. Right.
You're going somewhere here. Yeah. Okay.
Kind of like what we're doing here. Kind of feels like work, but at the same time, we're having a discussion, we're enjoying and having fun.
Yeah, we don't have this sort of perception of work as in it's this thing that needs to be done and then when I'm done with it, I can have my life.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
It's not this separate entity or this separate universe you're entering every, day.
Yeah.
And then
I
coming
gotcha.
back.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's a good point of view, but we'll see more of it later. Okay. So let's first look on the job side. So are people satisfied in their job? Most people, I mean, I'm kind of going anecdotally here. I didn't bring up stats and whatever because, yes, there are some stats that say in some countries, people are satisfied with the jobs and work they have. But mostly, broadly speaking, a lot of people aren't, You can ask a lot of people, are you satisfied? They'll be like, it's all right, it pays the bills, or maybe, no, I hate it, or I hate my job. A lot of people would say, I wish I was somewhere else. I could do something better, or I could pursue my passion, right? It's not something that I'm inventing here. Like, we all...
No, I get that impression as well from
Or
from what I
even-
hear from people, and even from myself, to be honest.
Yeah, even personally, would you say, is this 100% fulfilling?
Well, yeah, like I like my job because it gives me what I need, like, to get by every day through life. And yeah, I do enjoy some elements of it. I enjoy like the challenges and, being able to think on my feet and all that stuff. But like you said, it's not necessarily something I don't think I could do forever,
Yeah. Like, you don't see like this long-term vision where you would be fulfilled for the rest of your life, possibly, You're not sure, but,
Yeah. I mean, as long as I possibly can do it, I think I will. But also, I don't want that to interfere with my other goals in life. I'm interested in music, powerlifting, podcasting, all that stuff. I want to be able to do all of it, right?
Exactly.
Not just one job and it takes up all my time. If it comes to that, then, I'm going to have to make a decision.
But right now, like, even with me, I would say the jobs that we do have, yes, it's mostly, for the income and helping us get by in life. So there is some sort of balance that we're trying to, create with the rest of our life, because it's sort of like these opposing forces where, you're like, oh, I need to do this. And then when I'm done, I can, focus on the other things. We're not there to a point where it can be intertwined. Sort of.
Yeah, I really like that if it could be intertwined, like you said. That would be really fulfilling for me, I think.
So maybe broadly speaking, a lot of people are dissatisfied because, they feel like pressured or forced, and, they're put into those situations of jobs because they need to make a living, mostly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they have to sustain for their families. They have to, they have pressure from the household, and maybe they have a baby that they have to take care of, put food on the table, all that stuff. We don't have that yet because we're only 25, but you're not even 25 yet. So.
No, exactly. Soon, it's September.
Coming up.
Maybe podcast on my birthday.
Yeah, special edition birthday.
Exactly.
Birthday edition for Heiko.
We'll have a bunch of balloons and decoration.
Maybe I won't be dressed like this.
No, I won't make you dress like that. Yeah, what was I gonna say? Yeah, so even more of a reason for people who have family, kids, and other, major obligations that they're forced to do these jobs just for supporting their families, right? For us, it's mostly, kind of our lifestyles that we have, or going out trips and whatnot, or some bills that we need to pay, but it's not to that point compared to some other people. So we see that a lot of people aren't satisfied with their jobs, and kind of to bring back, an old topic that we spoke about, like the Venus Project, right? Where there is no such thing as a job where, most people, the work they would do is something that they would mostly enjoy, that they will pursue fields that they want to be in. So, let's say in our current society, if everyone's needs were met, how many people would leave their job, like, immediately,
Probably a lot.
Probably a lot, right? And again, do I need statistics? I mean, are there really people who you would say your house is paid, your food is paid, everything is paid? Would you still go to your job?
Yeah, common sense, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe very little people would do it, but not most people. So
I think people would just, focus on their real interests rather than kind of like their forced, jobs or their forced pastimes in a sense. They would focus on what they really like to do.
yeah, or just in general, like some people like me and you, we kind of have a multitude of interests. It's kind of hard to just do this one thing. Or if we could have all our interests sort of, related.
I've always tried to do that. I've always tried to like tie them all in. Somehow.
Yeah, somehow. Oh, I love music. I love working out. Let me try to bring this up.
Like lately, when I've been working out, I've been trying to incorporate music as much as I can in the workout and like time my lifts, the workout, and like trying to.
It's a fun.
Just to mix it all up, kind of thing, and it's fun. It's giving it a different flavor.
Yeah, that's cool. But yeah, so some of us are more, generalists, if you will, or have a multitude of interests, and it could be fun to be, like a Venus Project Society where, you could one day go help out some people in some way and then engage in some other activity. And yeah, maybe some people will be like, no, I just want to be in the medical field or, in engineering. Yeah, okay. That's fine too. Some people are really passionate in a single thing, but that's the beauty of humans. We're all so varied in our interests.
Yeah. Right. Actually, I kind of have like a thought that I was thinking about today. Did you notice that some like people are never really good at like a lot of different things, but they're good at like one particular thing? It's hard to be good at so many things, and I think it comes back to we don't have time to do all of the things that we really want to do, and we only have time to focus on one thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have you really seen let's say a professional musician that's also like a professional athlete? It's rare, right? Like
it's difficult. Yeah.
Usually you have to spend so much time perfecting that one craft and that one passion that you have that you end up being really good at one thing, and it's also natural and genetic too, right? Some people are better in certain disciplines than others.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's hard to be good at everything, right? So
oh yeah. I'm not saying, you can be good at everything. You can have multitude of interests, but at the end of the day, if you do want to be great at something, you obviously have to compromise and sacrifice in other ways.
In other areas, yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just kind of bringing up a point that I was thinking of today. It's funny that I was actually just thinking of that like earlier.
We're talking about
we're talking about it.
Yeah, exactly. So, no, I was saying like in terms of like, if we could work in a society where you could kind of have multiple works that you could do, help out in one way, and then maybe the next day, do something else. But I know it's a bit futuristic to kind of think in those terms, but I'm just saying, because I'm saying everyone is different, right? Some people are passionate about a single thing. Other people is kind of more varied, kind of like us, Anyway, so let's move on to the next question. So why do people talk about having work-life balance? So in our current society, why is it, so prevalent? So what is it that's wrong then, is it because people are saying, they're working too many hours or too many days, or their bosses are asking too much of them?
Probably a combination of all that, I would say. I guess people are getting fed up of, just grinding all the time. But at the same time, hard work is good for you until, it comes to the point where it's not anymore, right?
Yeah.
So in my opinion, like, I think it's important to work hard every day. Like, I'm super disciplined, that. But at the same time, you got to find that point where, if you go beyond that, it's gonna break you, and you gotta stop yourself before you get to that point, right?
Okay.
So I think it's important to just find your limit, and I guess a lot of people are talking about it because, maybe they reach that limit, and it's possible, when you're just stressed out of your mind and you can't function on a day-to-day basis because you have too much pressure and you're overworked, you can't sleep, so many things could go wrong.
Okay. So I would say, this topic of work-life balance comes a lot in our current society because there's so much high demand, nowadays, and because the price of living goes up and up, and back in the day, it was, let's say the husband who would work, but now it's the husband and the wife and the kids and everybody else that needs to work to be able to support, a family. And so it does become tough. And that's why people are like, wait a minute, I thought work had to be, its own thing, and then I could have my life. But now it's almost like my life is just work.
Yeah.
I would say some more higher up positions or some salaried positions oftentimes can blur the line between, when's the time for my life and when does it end my work? Like CEOs or executives and,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, not even like to that degree, I think.
Yeah.
Just people with professions in general, like kind of like myself.
Yeah, like salary people or even, me, I would say.
Me,
yeah.
like anyone, like in the middle class, like
Middle class, yeah.
sometimes people in the middle class are even more overworked than the upper class and the higher class, right?
Yeah, true, because they do
because
brunt of the work.
Yeah, we do a lot of the work, the dirty work, right?
The managers or execs are just do this,
Yeah, because, people in the middle class, they don't have necessarily the highest salaries, but, they're still capable of performing pretty well at work. And, they give us a lot of the tasks, for example.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be stressful.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think, 99% of the people, because there's that 1% that we already spoken about. And we're going back to some old topics here. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
So that 99% of people that are kind of like in the lower class or the middle class, a lot of those people are the ones that actually do a lot of the work in business, in whatever you want it may be, like maybe hospitals and the healthcare system.
Maybe before solving the work-life balance, we need to solve the wealth distribution balance.
That's for real, though. I think that's a good point, because there is like that, I think, that discrepancy there where, I'm not saying that people in the upper class don't do any work, because I'm sure they work their ass off too to get there. But at the same time, I feel like a lot of people that are in the lower class, even more than in the middle class, right? They have it hard, right? They work long hours. Like, let's say a mom that's in the lower class that has two kids, right? How many hours a week do you think she works to sustain those two children, right?
A lot.
So many hours.
And then we don't, count the hours at home, housework or stuff,
Exactly.
rearing the kids.
But hey, I think that's a good point too, right? Does work-life balance, does it only encompass like your profession, or does it encompass other areas of your life too that you would consider quote unquote work?
More like work for your personal life.
Yeah.
Where you're not really getting paid for it.
Like shit you don't want to do. But you have to do it.
Yeah. Change the diapers.
Change the diaper, right? Pay the bills or whatever the hell
Clean
it is. Clean the house.
Do chores.
Exactly. And I think maybe that's part of it too.
Yeah, I would say so. So maybe there's work, life, and chore balance.
Yeah, like those, those tasks that no one wants to do at the house or.
Yeah, true. We don't think about that, but the work part, the jobs part, it does overwhelm, I would say, a lot of it, because it takes such a huge chunk of our week, right?
Yeah.
The general 40 hours a week is a lot of hours, just for, a job.
Yeah, the classic like 9 to 5 job takes up all those hours per day, and then
the
repeats.
evenings and weekends is when you have your time to.
And what do you really get to do in the evening, right?
Barely.
Your workout, right? You got to put that in.
No choice. Okay.
Yeah.
Leave the rest. Baby can cry and he'll sleep. But no, I'm kidding.
But yeah,
But yeah. So I think there's a lot of different factors here that make people talk about the work-life balance, how they can achieve it, and we're gonna try to see now what people can do, or maybe what our society as a whole can do, so that we can have a better balance. So some suggestions. So having more flexible hours, right, at your job, instead of saying, you have to work from 9 to 5 or this hour to that hour, say like, okay, well, can I work these days, or just my schedule be, from 10 to 6 or some other flexible hour?
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah, I agree. And I think a lot of businesses are starting to use that more and more.
Yeah, I think after COVID happened and my second point, which is remote working,
Yeah.
right? I think a lot of companies are seeing the benefits of it and seeing like, yeah, why not? You know, if you could do the same exact job at home and it could be better for you and less stressful and you could be like, oh, I can breathe and maybe take care of my kids or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So there are benefits there.
You know, like when I first started remote work, I didn't like it that much. But now that everyone's saying, let's go back to the office,
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, exactly. Me too, same. But unfortunately, I'm gonna be forced to return slowly
going back
from September and then October. But they're giving us a hybrid option where you could have 2 days per week at home. So I'm gonna be like, yes, I want that.
That's not too bad. Half and half.
Yeah. Let's do 3 days.
The other way around.
The other way around. We'll see. It might evolve. I don't know. I think in our company personally, they're kind of just trying it out. I think because
Don't worry, the Delta variant's going to ruin all their plans.
I mean, sometimes I'm like,
Don't say that.
no. I don't want to wish that. Okay, you know what? I'll return to work. Okay, we don't need it.
We don't need another.
Because it's not just working from home. No, it's lockdowns, closed restaurants.
Oh, yeah. I'd go to work any day than have a stupid lockdown again.
And return to, the olden days. Ugh. We're
man.
just being able to get out of, this whole mess. So
Yeah.
anyways, yeah. So remote working, I think a lot of people at first were a bit hesitant or weren't sure. We're like, man, how am I going to socialize my workspace? I'm going to be at home and whatnot. And now people are like, yeah, it's cool. Me personally, I have zero complaints. I love it. So if a lot of companies can allow that, I think that can also help to have better balance, right? Less working days. Okay, so instead of the 5-day work week, we could have 4 days or even 3 days work weeks. I know 3 days seems a bit like, wow, okay, that's not a lot, but there was actually a study that was done in Iceland for I forgot for how many years, I think 2 or 3 years or more, and they did 4-day work weeks, and they saw that productivity and general well-being increased in a lot of employees at a lot of jobs.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I mean, if I even look at myself, like as an example, like how many days of the week am I really that productive?
Same.
3 to 4 days.
I would say so.
Last
And
day
mostly
of the
like in
week.
the morning, would you say?
Exactly. After lunch, I'm like, I'm tired.
Exactly.
You know.
That is exactly the same feeling I have. Morning is like, yo, let's do this. Everything gets completed like so fast, and then it just
Yeah. Tapers off.
dramatically drops. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for me, that's the thing. The first maybe 3 days of the week, I'm pretty productive. Sometimes I wish I was more productive. Sometimes I'm really productive. But the last like 2-3 days, it's like, man, it's a lot of hours invested into this, and my mind kind of drifts off.
It drifts, yeah. And also in our culture, we have this thing of looking forward towards the weekend, Friday, and all that. So
That's a song. Friday.
I can't wait for the weekend to begin. There's that song too.
Oh, okay.
Which is
That's
way
another
better than the freaking Friday song. So yeah, I would agree that 4-day work weeks could be pretty cool. Like if some companies would try that, why not? Honestly, like as you say, I think productivity drops.
Significantly
near the end of the week. And
Right.
do people do more in 5 days than in 4 days? I'd say the opposite. I beg to differ.
I mean, I'm comparing like this Friday to the one like previous to that. This Friday was extremely like the Friday of last week was really productive because one of my colleagues was leaving on vacation, and we kind of had to get last minute things done, and we had to hurry up. But the Friday before that, it was just like a normal Friday, and nothing was happening.
Just chilling.
It was just like, okay, like why am I even working right now?
Yeah, exactly. Almost like wasting hours.
Yeah,
in a way.
and I don't like that. It's just like turning in circles, not doing anything really, and
Yeah, where if you were doing maybe stuff in your personal life, you'd be like, yeah, I could be doing these things and those tasks, or working out, or what else you want to do. So yeah, I would say, people would feel more productive, possibly, having shorter work weeks. They'd feel better at their job, and then they'll be like, wow, now I have a 3-day weekend. Okay, I can spend more time, with my family and kids and whatever other interests I have. And then the fourth point is to try to prioritize or delegate work. So let's say at your job, your boss would be like, yo, can you do this task, that task, and work on this project or whatever, as you're aware. So to say, okay, look, I can work, from this time to that time, and I really need to take, these times off, during these days. Or say, set your hours and not be so loose. Yeah, okay, I can work until, the
Sunset.
morning. In the early mornings, or delegate work. But I guess delegate work is more like if you're a manager or whatever, a higher up position. Or I guess if you're working in a team, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prioritize and execute. Remember Jocko's favorite thing?
Yeah.
Like his concept, it's regarding this. It's like to be more efficient in like business, and he was referring to like in war context, right? That they use this principle, but he says it transcends to like other areas of life. So if you have multiple employees, and you could delegate tasks and just trust other people with work, and not just accumulate a bunch of work for one person. No, a team is meant to spread tasks around, and trust people, and let them lead their own tasks, instead of giving
Involved.
all one person the same amount of work, right?
Yeah, true, yeah, like trusting a whole project or whole tasks, or a whole slew of tasks to one person,
Yeah.
as some people would attest.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, be able to trust maybe your employees and delegate it, and be like, this way the tasks are more balanced, right? And it will create less stress on one single person.
Yeah, exactly.
Or just for yourself. Let's say you're working in a team, like you're not a boss or something, but you're in a team, and your boss gave you this whole big project, but you could ask a teammate or a colleague, hey, could you do maybe this part for me, and hey, could you just take care of that, so you could just breathe a bit and be able to focus on your own tasks.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, so those were some of the suggestions. Would you have anything more to that, or I think it covers?
Yeah, it covers it pretty well.
decent.
I think so.
Okay. All right. So next up, there's a thing. Hold up. Okay. So if most people are dissatisfied with their jobs, okay, and as we said before, would leave if all their basic needs were met, then is there such a thing as a work-life balance? Is there, how could I say this?
Yeah, I think I understand.
You kind of get what I'm saying.
Like, if there's no work, how is there a balance that needs to be met, right? It's all the scale. You're tipping the scale in the other direction.
Yeah, exactly. Like, as if, why does it have to be kind of, because balance, what it means is that there's like two kind of forces, opposing or weighing you down in one way or another. And if people would love their job, be satisfied in their job, why would they need to strike about it? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They would be content, and they would be able to have a life, not just work life.
Exactly. That kind of exactly what I brought up at the way beginning of the podcast.
Kind of
yeah.
Yeah.
So find something that could be considered work, but at the same time is pleasurable and fun, and that you could socialize at the same time. Kind of reminds me of like just this podcast, right? We're doing something productive, but
it's kind of like work, but not really. I don't really consider it
yeah. It's not like, oh, tonight I got to go to HAIKO'S house. We're going to work on this podcast.
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
It's like, oh, nice. Tonight we're filming a podcast.
And people would feel that, people listening, watching to us, they'll be like, it's almost like they're doing a job or...
Yeah, it's not a job at all.
Exactly.
It's not like that.
So maybe the way that people should see this whole concept is not work-life balance, but a work-life harmony.
I like that. That's
okay. So it's another way to rephrase this whole thing of having a balance. So instead of seeing it as opposing forces, we see them as something part of our broader life where, you know when to go in and out of work, if you will, if we can use that word, and prioritize your times based on your current needs. So like I was watching a video of this man named Simon Sinek. Have you ever heard of him?
No.
He's like
I feel like every time you bring someone up, I have no idea who it is.
You have no idea. Oh, sometimes maybe you do, and I don't. Simon Sinek, yeah, he's a pretty chill guy, and the man is like a motivational speaker, and he speaks to like leaders and business people and all that. He gives like great advice, and he was talking about this thing of work-life balance, and he was saying, I like more the term work-life harmony, where your work isn't something where it's set during these hours, during these days, and you have to do it no matter what. No, there's flexibility, Sometimes you don't know when you're feeling tired or when you want to take a day off. And he says in his own company, I know this doesn't apply to everyone and not everyone has this possibility, but he says the way he sees it, he says, if someday one person is like, yeah, I just want to take this day off with my family, and they allow it, they just see that this is a need that the person has currently, and he's able to go off and have some time, or maybe take an hour or two break during the day, because you're just like, man, I'm not in the
like they do in Europe. Did you know that, like when you go to Europe, a lot of
a lot of businesses close
for like an hour or two. I think when I went to Italy it was like that, so like
in the afternoon.
In the afternoon. So
it's kind of like, you would never hear that either.
Everything turns off, everyone goes take a nap.
It's like, what?
And then everything opens back up. It's so different. I love it.
So there's also differences in our culture, right? So maybe there needs to be a shift in our culture and the way, what is required from us, the jobs that we do. So sort of like for closing thoughts and like last suggestions that I could give. So maybe, people should focus on finding work that has a higher meaning for them, and it's not just for the income. I know, again, it's kind of hard for some people. Yes, you work sometimes just for the money, but maybe our greater goal should be to build a life where we can have some work that isn't just for the money.
Yeah. That's what I aspire to do, honestly. I mean, right now, I still have a full-time job. I actually have 2 jobs. I tutor.
Oh, yeah, you still...
and I have an engineering job. I do this podcast. I work out all the time. It's a lot of work, but I'd really like to, somehow, some way, get it all in one, melting pot or something.
Where one doesn't take all your time, or it's
exactly,
or you're forced to do it because you have to for money.
Right. That's my goal down the line. Like right now, I know I kind of have to do the 9 to 5 right now just to get some income, and then maybe one day, somehow make my other interests make my money
source of income.
Be my source of income. Exactly.
A lot of people's goals is kind of to turn their passions or hobbies or other interests into their source of income. Work shouldn't be something that is draining or something we dread every day to go to. That's I think the mentality that we need to change.
I heard an interesting quote from believe it or not, Dana White.
Oh, really?
He said something like, it's actually pretty interesting. It's like, if you're dreading if you're always looking forward to the weekend and like you're not excited for Monday, you're doing it all wrong. He's like, I hate the weekends. I love the week because during the week is what I do all the time, and that's what I love to do. Like I love, promoting fights and this and that. And then when I get on the weekend, it's boring. There's nothing to do. It's not my real thing, man. My true passion, you know?
Well, the Saturdays are the fights, no?
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like during the week is when all the real behind the process gets done, right? His real, you know, his real
work.
job, but his real work. But at the same time, it's what he loves to do. So yeah, if you're dreading Monday all the time, it's probably because you're not doing what you want, right?
Yeah, so it's a sign. It's something that tells you, hey, maybe this isn't meant for you. Maybe try to find something better, or create it yourself if you have the possibility. But of course, this is all kind of, you know, assuming that you have the capabilities or the options. But as we know, in our capitalistic society, it's not always possible, right? Because of the distribution of wealth and, you know, what is passed down generations to you and the cards you're dealt. So broadly speaking, maybe there needs to be changes in our society, you know, Venus Project type things, or, you know, or maybe universal basic incomes.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard about that, UBIs. Yeah. So that people could, you know, okay, they have, you know, a base income, so they're not like forced to like grind and work multiple jobs or do jobs that they hate just to have the bare necessities, you know.
Right. I think that should be something that they implement one day. I mean,
or consider, yeah, you know, to
yeah. I think some people have it harder than others, and maybe something like that could definitely, you know, turn the tides a little bit.
So, yeah, I guess maybe until, we reach a society like, you know, what Venus Project proposes, where there is no money, right? You don't work for the money. It's whatever your interests are, you know, maybe something in our current society that could be where people have similar incomes at a base if they need it, and then they could work up from there and,
yeah, that'd be a good option for sure.
you know, pursue their passions, or, you know, if they have a business idea, or, you know, more entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's always like, be your own entrepreneur, you know, be your own boss.
It's always about that.
Yeah, exactly. Alrighty, so I think that kind of wraps it up. I don't know if you have anything else to add.
Well, I think we summed it up pretty well. Yeah, like I said, I think the closing message should be, you know, not work-life balance, more like work-life harmony, where you do get that real balance by, you know, working and improving on something you want to achieve, and at the same time having fun in the process, right? I think that's what we should aim for, everyone.
Yeah, where your work isn't some separate thing. It's just part of your life. Sort of, you know, you wake up, you do whatever you need to do, and then you move on to something else. You know, it's not like this separate entity. You know, how could I say this? Like, you know, when you wake up and brush your teeth, you're not like, oh, I gotta brush my teeth. And when am I gonna be done with this?
Exactly. Yeah. It's not good to dread what you do in life, right? I mean, if you're dreading your job, it's probably not the best for you. You should probably get another job, or, you know, find what really
Something
drives you every day, right?
Yeah, exactly. For now, I think that's, you know, the best that we can do. Alrighty. Okay, so thank you guys for watching, for listening to this episode. We do these every single week. We release a new episode every time. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all your favorite streaming platforms. You can like and subscribe, and, you know, leave a comment if you're watching us on YouTube. But until then, stay curious.
Yes, always.
Catch you guys later.
Catch you guys in the next one.
All right, bye.
Thanks. Play us out.